Welcome everyone to a masterclass in AI in game development, and thank you very much for all being here on a Saturday morning. We all value our Saturdays and Sundays, so truly grateful that each one of you have taken out time and come here. And wanted to thank IDGS and CII for this opportunity. It's been an amazing show. It's been an amazing conference. We've had some great content, great speakers, so this has been really a wonderful opportunity. So my name is Aditya Mani. I'm the founder of YoloGram Style, and basically what we do is we let consumers of brands visualize themselves as avatars and visualize branded clothing on themselves. We don't just stop there. Those characters that are created are 3D animatable characters which can go into games, go into experiences, and also we can let you share content on social media. So this character that we create is a portable character, and this character can also be used as a virtual sales agent. So it could be a brand sales agent, or it could be a personal sales agent for yourself. It's like a 24-hour answering machine, which could be yours. You could use it on Zoom calls, and of course you could also use it for one-on-one interactions as well. So we're going to start off by basically figuring out how AI is perhaps one of the most I would say important steps that come in if you look at the evolution of game development, I think AI is going to be a formative step which is completely going to revolutionize the way game development works. So fundamentally, if you look about it, game is a lot like a movie, right? It's a production which has all these facets coming together. So there is sound design, there is 3D modelers, there is lighting, there is all of this, except in a movie, you have a lot of time to pre-render everything. You can take, but here a lot of things are happening in real time. Not just that, a lot of things are interactable as well. So when we're designing levels and we're designing strategy for game, we have to think of the various possibilities and permutations of combinations of how a user will interact with an NPC and things like that. What is going to happen now with AI is that level is just going to shift up because the possibilities now are endless. So broadly in this conversation, we're going to have it in two forms. One is going to be in terms of what AI can do, what it can do today, and what it can do in the future. And I'm going to be joined by a colleague in YoloGram. One of my team members is going to come on stage. I'm going to be introducing him. And we're going to do a live workshop. And we're actually going to show you how we are using AI within our pipeline, how we're using AI within our studio, and also how we are using AI to make complete demos of things which we can give to our teams to figure out what is it exactly that the customer wants. So we'll give you a little bit of live as well. So don't be overwhelmed if you see some code on screen. We are assuming that the person who's going to be able to generate this code only knows English language. So if, like I mentioned, the various moving parts that make a game a reality. So we have basically the world, we have the characters, and along with the characters, we have things like props, we have 3D models. Some of them are interactable, some of them are not. We have all this content in the middle, which is a part of the world as well. And then, of course, we've got the strategy part, where that's where a lot of it is now evolving, because as we are seeing that a lot of this AI models are able to handle more parameters, handle more stuff in real time, and these models are getting lightweight and they can reside on device. So we are also seeing a lot of AI come into the strategy part as well. So in these immersive worlds, basically what we're saying is that it's a game-changing innovation, and the characters now have life to them. So what do we mean by when we're saying that the interactive game environments are ever evolving? So today, what we have to do in these kind of environments today is that we have to kind of tell the 3D modeler, at least in yesterday, if not today, that this is how my scene is going to look, this is how it's going to be lit up, and we have to have that information given to the 3D modeler before the game is made, then the game is built, then it's published. But what if this could happen on the fly, right? So there are today APIs available, there are technology available, which lets you generate the environment based on the parameters that you give it. This could happen in two ways. One way is that based on the player behavior, you're picking up certain patterns, and you're just before the level loads, the environment that you see is very different from the environment your friend sees, because it's a hyper-personalized world today. So all the inputs of yours are very different from the inputs of your friends. So you're going to be in the same level, but you're going to be seeing a very different, like for example, if you talk about brands, you'll be seeing very different brands on a virtual mall if you're looking at, say, playing a game like GTA, and if someone in the US will be seeing brands which are relevant to that geography. A small example, but it makes it very relevant. Like if I were to show an Indian today, brands like Poshmark and Taylor, these are not brands which relate to us, but brands like H&M, Jack and Jones, these are brands which we have seen in malls today. So it makes so much more sense that everything is way more personalized. In addition to content coming up, we're also talking about real-time adaptability. So when we're talking about real-time adaptation, we're talking about things changing as per the player actions. So we're not just saying based on your preferences, depending on how you're moving or how you're behaving within the game, you're going to see adaptation. So this could happen at different levels. This could even be like face tracking happening and seeing what kind of emotions you're facing, iris tracking happening, seeing your level of fear and figuring out whether it should scare you more or increase the suspense. All of that is possible today, which was not possible earlier. A, because of the bandwidth available in terms of compute, and also in terms of the sensory capability which is now present within things like cameras, which don't require a LiDAR sensor because these AI models are present. So when you take an AI model and you add a camera to it, you add a sensor to it, you make it a way more powerful. It has computer vision in it, which means that the computer can now see things the way you see things. So you don't have to analyze it. In real time, it's analyzing and able to sense your emotion, sense your expression, things like that. So this is a game changer for games, And then of course there's the AI innovation stage where, the entire strategy part of it can evolve as you're playing. So this is procedural content. We've all seen it kind of happen before our eyes. A great example is Minecraft, where the way the world is generating is being auto-generated based on the machine itself. This is now possible today in not just the kind of pixelated environments like Minecraft, the kind of parameters that the models have today and the power that the models have today, it can even happen in hyper-realistic 3D environments as well. And this is again real-time level creation. So depending on how you're interacting with it, depending on what you've done, it'll take those inputs and then keep generating it based on that. So it's limitless possibilities. And this is a video that we've taken from NVIDIA ACE, where there's a boss. In every game we know that there is a boss mode and there is a boss player, which is basically what we used to call the AI before the time of AI. And we would have these communities of game players, gamers who would say that, I have figured out how to crack the boss, and they would go to a community and share that this is the little trick that you do, and then you can beat the boss this way. But what if the boss could learn as you are learning how to backward engineer it, learning how to technically hack it, the boss is learning as well. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this video again, because now it will give you some time to hear what I have just spoken about, but see what's happening right here. The boss is actually, and so this is the boss, the big monster in the center, and these are all players all around it, which are real-time players. It is doing analysis based on your past play history, on who has a higher ability to, who has a lower ability to win, who has a higher ability to lose, and it's taking the strategy based on who it wants to take out first, right? So it says who is the priority target to go after first. So this is the kind of thing that no programming can do, because it can never predict who's going to come in first. But it knows all your behavior, it knows how you've been working in the past, it knows what you're good at. If you're good at a right movement, if you're bad at left movement, it's figured out the way in which, and what typically happens in chess. We have a limited number of moves, and we have a limited number of players that we can track in chess, right? The chess coins, not the coins, but so what an AI can do is it can track all of it and all the squares and all the possible moves 20, 30. So that's why today you can see that Deep Blue is able to take out the best chess players, because it can just do more math than what we can do right now. Now think about this from a real-time game interaction point of view, it suddenly becomes way more powerful than the AI we had yesterday. This, for example, is one of our avatars, and what we have done is we have programmed this avatar, for example, to talk like a stone. So, it's a human avatar that we've taken, and in this human avatar, what we have done is we have programmed it to speak like a stone. So I've asked, how are you doing? And then he says, how am I supposed to do? I'm a poor stone. So I'm sorry, we don't have audio right now. But the idea is that you'll be able to hear this avatar speaking, and this could be an avatar of yourself. This could be an NPC. So suddenly you have NPCs earlier. One thing that we used to do when we master a game is we keep hitting the NPC again and again, and we try to see what are the various possibilities or what are the various answers it can come back with. Now it has endless answers. Now it has endless interaction, and plus it's learning of you. So you can just, it's just infinite possibilities that can come out once you interact with these NPCs. I spoke about real-time adaptation, and I've also spoke about enhanced storytelling. So these branching narratives that can generate, these are endless narratives as well. So if you look at the world of AR and VR, which makes the whole experience way more immersive, this is again a game changer, because you need computer vision. Computer vision is this branch of AI which lets you know what the camera is seeing. So rather than the camera just seeing pixels, it's analyzing what the pixels are, and it's able to tell either in 3D or 2D what the content really is. So for AR and VR, it's so important, right? So everyone who's experienced AR or VR knows that there's something that happens called ground tracking, and you have to make a border around yourself. You have to draw that border around yourself to make sure you don't knock into things. So today, a lot of mixed reality today is able to analyze what a table is, what a chair is, but at the same time, you don't really want the clutter in the room to be distracting you. So what if I could just take the obstacles in the room, mark them as chairs and tables, but make them clean tables so that my eye is not distracted by the pixels on that, and I'm just looking at the main gameplay. So that you're going to see in the next, video. So you on the left is what you see is a digital overlay. On the right is what you see is the camera feed. I'm going to play this video twice. So on the left you see a bow and arrow. You see some interactables coming on screen. The player is interacting based on the arrows being shot. And on the right you're seeing there's just an empty room and just a person with controllers in his hand, and he's moving around. So what is so important in mixed reality is that we should be able to see the room, but we shouldn't be distracted by the room, right? So I'm just going to play this video once again for you to understand how important this is. So if you see on the right, that sofa is a little purple colored and it takes it's distracting, but see on the left, it's a blurred out sofa. So it's still a sofa, you will not knock into it, but all the details are kind of taken away. There are also digital versions of the things on the counter, which you can technically play with. The table now becomes an interactable table. You still have the parts marked out, you still have the digital content showing out, you still have the parts which go through. For example, you are able to look out from here, but the clutter in the sink cannot be seen. So that's not a distraction anymore. So this really makes mixed reality far more meaningful, right? It seems like a very small thing, but this cannot be done without computer vision. This cannot be done without real time, because I cannot predict how your bedroom will look, how his drawing room will look. This has to be done in real time at that moment in time. And it cannot be done based on a scan, right? If I were to scan this room and then say an object were to appear there, I can't go there and start scanning it at that point. It has to happen in real time. So that happens technically with computer vision. It happens with a model which is present on device, which has to be lightweight, which is able to do that segmentation right then and there. So, the visual part of it, we've been able to understand. The audio part of it, there was a little demo there where the character speaks to you, so then you become far more immersive because it's got lifelike voice, it's got a lifelike face, and because it's not a predefined response, because it's this kind of human-like response, you feel more immersed in the situation. But what about the entire experience modeling, which kind of used to be hard-coded, or used to be the narrative of the game used to be kind of predetermined? What if that could adapt during gameplay? And that is basically what we're talking about. So we've divided this into 4 parts. There's behavioral analysis, adaptive gameplay, the emotion and sentiment of the gamer, as well as the retention and engagement optimization. So in the behavior analysis, the entire player action, decision-making patterns, frustration points, this is like, for example, the boss mode video I showed you. Like, it's able to figure out who's weak, who's the first person to take out. All of that can be done in real time with AI today. Adaptive gameplay is, again, like adjusting the difficulty level. Like, I set the difficulty level low, but you seem to be a very experienced player, so I'm now going to increasingly increase the difficulty level. Or you seem to be a player who's scoring low on level 1. I want to keep you engaged. I want to keep you to go to level 4, level 5. So I reduce the difficulty level. This is something which is happening on the fly as we go. Similarly, the narratives based on your personalization that you've done. I spoke about the example where you have different brands showing up in a mall. This could also be just content which is more meaningful to you. So the content appearing to a 13-year-old schoolgirl could be very different from the content appearing for a 40-year-old male gentleman, because, you know, one would be more interested in NFL or sports or IPL, and one may be more interested in K-pop. So, you know, you could have that adaptive narratives also coming up, which are keeping you equally engaged and keeping you equally interested in the game as well. Emotion and sentiment analysis. So basically, using data mining, the facial recognition can actually kind of figure out what is it that you're feeling, how engaged are you, how distracted are you. We're already seeing that today in cars, right? So we have a lot of the high-end cars today which are able to tell that you are feeling drowsy right now, and it does a little shake and wakes you up. How is it doing that? It's doing that based on droopiness of the eye. It's doing that based on the facial expressions. Why can that not be used in a game? It can totally be used in a game, because a game is nothing but an interactable experience where you have to adapt based on how the gamer is engaging with you. So the minute the gamer feels distracted, how can you engage him? How can you shock him? How can you show him something which will scare him? Again, retention and optimization, again, is something that we're talking about, showing the content which is far more meaningful. So I've spoken a lot, and I would like to invite my colleague Rishabh, who's a part of our team, to show you some real life examples, so that this is not something that is only theory. This is something that YoloGram is using. And hi Rishabh, thanks for coming. So I'll just keep one mic to myself, you can keep one. So yeah. What are you going to show us, Rishabh?
So what we can do is we can create a game. That's the best way to showcase. So we'll create a small demo, small prototype. So in my mind, I'm thinking of a tic-tac-toe. So there is one AI for this. We are going to use all publicly available tools so everyone can go and try it on. There are the things that we talked about, most of them are GitHub repos. Most people will face difficulty with it. But those tools which I'm talking about are publicly available. So we'll start with ChatGPT. So the first thing what we'll do is we'll create a prompt for the AI which will develop the game itself, right? So the simple thing is, let's create a tic-tac-toe. So what we will do is we'll ask ChatGPT to, I've already have this tried it out. So
show us the prompt.
Yeah. So what I gave the prompt to the AI is generate a prompt for an AI that is responsible for making games. And this is a small trick. You can add a triple backslash. So ChatGPT will take it as a complete sentence. So if you add a dot or other stuff, it can get it can merge two separate contexts in a same. So add this triple backslash and it will separate the context. You are talking about the different line. So the next line I told about, I want to make a tic-tac-toe, explain the mechanics of the game, and after winning it should connect all the centers of the winning box of tic-tac-toe. I want an overlay button for a restart. So all those features, whatever I want, so it will generate a nice prompt. It will explain the game mechanics, like how the game board is, how the player turn will work, what will be the winning condition, draw condition, and all those things. So it's a very easy to just copy this, and you can try it out with Bolt. So it's publicly available. You can try it out. So it's called bolt.ai. After generating the prompt, just copy and paste your prompt, and it will wait. I'll just quickly do sign in. Oh.
Thanks for that. So we'll just quickly redo it. वो screen नहीं दिख रहा. Do we need to stop? Now go
yeah. Now you guys can see
we can just go back and show the prompt. Sorry, we didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So you can just show the prompt again. You can show the ChatGPT prompt again.
Okay. So this is the prompt. So this is what I was talking about, // generate a prompt for AI that is responsible for making games. This is the simplest prompt I have given to. I want to make a tic-tac-toe, explain the game mechanics for the AI, so that AI understand what it has to generate. And what next I can do is I can copy the entire code, in the entire prompt, and I can paste it to Bolt. So I'm logged in here. Just give me some time.
So while he logs in, basically what we've done is we've looked at 3 scenarios. One scenario could be that you are a developer, and how could AI act as a senior developer, or how could AI act as someone who could help you debug? You know, often what happens is, have you often noticed that when you're looking for something, you're just not able to look for it, even though you keep looking for it again and again? So programmers face the same thing. They get a blind spot to where their own mistake is, because if they knew that was their mistake, they would have found it, right? So you basically need someone else to come and tell you, hey, have you looked here? And that is something that AI can do. So rather than wasting another resource, an AI can quickly tell you that, you know, this is where you need to debug, this is where you need to solve that. So AI could be a companion to a developer. AI could be a supervisor to a developer by telling the developer that this is how you need to look at it in terms of code blocks. And of course, AI could also be a companion to, say, a project manager, or say someone more senior like a producer who just knows broadly what the client wants. So very often what happens is that when you go to a game studio, you'll see these pieces of paper which are put up on notice boards, and they look like rough napkin sketches, because that's basically what was captured at the client side. But you know, today you can actually give a prompt and you can create a rough prototype, even though it's not on brand, if you understand what I mean. But it's great for a developer to understand that this is exactly the behavior that the client is looking for, without going back and forth, because there is always a gap between what the developer understands and what the requirement is, and it goes back, and they're like, oh, I understood this, so I'm going to do it again. So that back and forth goes away if you give a playable prototype to the developer, and that is today possible, at least with the. Is it back on?
No, I'll.
Oh, you've taken it off? Okay. You need more time?
No, it's done. So sorry for the authentication issue. It was like it logged me off. I had to re-log in. But yeah.
It's not on screen.
Yeah, now it's on screen. So I'll just copy this prompt and I'll bring it to the Bolt AI. I'll just refresh. Sign in.
So the good part about demos is there's always a surprise.
Yeah.
So we have to also learn to behave like AIs as well.
So now it's logged in. So I'll just copy and paste. I'm not doing anything else. I have just copied and pasted the prompt that I received from the ChatGPT, and I'll just click send. So it will generate the entire backend of it. It will download its dependencies, and it will initialize all the code. It will write the winning condition. So on the right, if you're familiar with code, you can see that it's generating the scripts files. It's also generating all the git ignore files, environment files. So all the things that a developer takes care of, a normal person don't have to take care. So once the entire code is generated, it will automatically run the build and show you what it has generated. And if it has any flaws or anything that you want to modify, you want to change, you can always type here, and you can always ask it to iterate over it and see the final output. So it's done generating, so it's running the code.
So this is like a prototype team of yours. So even though we can't do AAA games out of here, you can at least go and make a simple prototype, and you can interact with this prototype with normal English language. You needn't know any code. And if anyone who's run studios knows that even the work to be done for a prototype, This could be about a day's work, which is getting done in a minute.
Yeah.
So think about it, it could be 2 days also, because you could get it wrong and go back, and it could be not what the client wanted. But here you can just change it on the fly. So the time saving that you can do in creating these kind of prototypes is just immense.
So it generated a tic-tac-toe, and you can also deploy it. It will give you a URL. You can open the URL on your phone. You can try it out. Right now, if I can send you guys the URL, let's just first take the demo of this game. So if I click here, it asks, now it's player O's turn. Do you want to play with me? Yeah. So I will take this box.
Well, let's just finish the game.
Okay.
Let's finish the game.
So now it marked the all the winning boxes with green, and it says player X wins. So I don't want a mark. I want a line striking through all the winning boxes, right? So what I'll do is I'll just ask it connect.
So from programmatically, the amount that you need to tell the computer that the first click is player 1, second click is player 2, then it alternates. There's programming required for that. Then there's programming to tell it what is, you cannot click twice on the same square. Then you need programming to say that you have, when you get it in a sequence, but not as an L or something, it has to be a straight line. So all that programming has been generated on the fly. So it may seem very, very rudimentary to us, but actually the computer needs to be told all these instructions, and this has happened like in a few seconds.
Yeah. So now I want a winning box with a line. So I prompted it to connect all the centers of the winning box with a line. So it will again look through its code, and it will try to see where are the winning boxes and everything. And the good part is, if you are a developer who understands code, you can always check the code if it's correct or not, and you can always prompt ki yahan pe gadbad hai. So sorry for you can always tell them ki look at this this part of the code, something is missing or something like that. So the other thing is, you don't have to worry about the debugging and all. Sometimes you run a code and you stumble upon errors, right? We also so AI also does that sometimes. Like, it will generate a code and it will not run. So if that kind of situation appears, then it will automatically suggest that this is the fix. Should we go and try to fix this? So all you have to do is, yes, let's go. And so now we have prompted it to strike through the winning boxes. So let's see. So it's striking through the winning boxes. So it's still not connecting the box, like it's not connecting the exact center. So the more precise you will be on your commands or the prompts that you will give, the better output it will generate. And the best part is, after making your game or after making your prototype, you can deploy it and test it on your phone. So I just clicked on deploy. It's building the application. It will deploy with and after deploying, it will send. It will give us a URL. If you guys want, you can right now itself. You can try this out. So this is one small demo. We have tried lots of things. We tried Flappy Bird. We tried the snake game. So these are the small games, small web-based games that you can develop. So, but the idea is, imagine this tool, this kind of accessibility of the editing of the code and everything is available in any game engine. So right now, Unity is trying to do something with the Muse. We tried Muse also, but it's also on a very beginner stage. So it's not very advanced. But because of the we have lots of GitHub repos for the web-based applications and code and everything. So AI is trained on that. But in Unity or in any game engine, you have to interact with the UI, you have to interact with the inspector on the UI element in the game engine itself. So those interaction between the game engine and the user is not as documented as the code itself. So it's good at coding, but interaction is something that it's facing difficulty. But I think it can catch up, how it catched up with the development of the code and everything. So if you guys have any question or query that you want to ask, or if you guys have any other idea that you want to try it on, we can try it right now itself.
If anyone wants to try out creating a small game, like a board game or that would be a good idea. We can just try it out right now. It may fail. We are not taking, yeah, please. Snake game? Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do a snake game.
So as we will start with the.
What is your name? Abir? Kabir. Thanks, Kabir.
Yeah. So I'll just prompt the ChatGPT to write a prompt for AI which makes games, and after that I want to make a snake game. Explain snake game mechanics for the AI. That's it. So only the 3 lines of the prompt, and it will generate the entire section that we need to feed to the bolt. Because if you want, we can obviously tweak these prompts, and we can obviously write our own movement techniques and all those things. But since a snake game is a very common game, then it's easy to generate a prompt through AI, another AI. So it generated a prompt, title, snake game, game description. It generated the movement, growth and food, collision handling, score system, speed increase, game over and restart, graphics and UI. All of these things it generated. Key, what are the things that AI has to take care of while creating this game? So I'll just copy this prompt. It might not work, it might work, but it depends on like how much time you are willing to spend. So it might work on the first shot, but there are chances that you might have to take a look into the code, you have to debug, but it makes the process so simple. You don't have to establish the environment, you don't have to go through the complex logic of like installing the dependencies and for the issues that you face with the version difference and all. So we'll just copy and paste.
So think about all the chances you have to go out to a brand and make a quick experience for them, make a quick playable experience for them with their brand logos. I mean, any studio can just do this on the fly while you're waiting in the office for and show it to them, show it to the client right then and there. It may seem a little exciting, may seem a little boring tomorrow, but at least it conveys to the client that you get what exactly they are thinking, and you're able to grasp that and show them, is this what you really wanted?
And one more thing I want to add for my fellow developers, that you don't have to be scared of this. This is not going to replace you. It's going to enhance your capability. If you understand code, it always requires your help. It cannot develop the entire experience on its own. So this is the snake game it created. So I can move through, green is me and red is food. So I am moving through and through my arrow keys, and
so I'm very relieved that it didn't crash.
Yeah,
because
so
we had no idea what that question was, but
so first time it worked for it can work, but there could be some issues due to which it generated wrong code. So you have to debug it, and that's where the developer comes. So they must have understanding of what's happening and all. So let's try and fail and see what will happen. So I collided with my body. So game over. My final score is 110. So it's a quick prototype tool that you guys can use. Yeah.
Also we have content like 3D content, 2D content, all of which can be generated. All of that is possible. We can do debugging as well, but I think due to shortage of time, I think we should wrap. So thank you very much. If anyone has any questions, would love to take them. Yeah, we have a lot of questions. Yeah. आवाज़ नहीं आ रही आपकी. हाँ.
अगर हम लोग कोई भी नए या फिर कोई भी बड़े लेवल पे गेम की स्टोरी रखना चाहते हैं तो क्या ये उसमें हेल्प करेगा? क्योंकि एज ए डेवलपर व्हेन वी आर लाइक GTA 5 है, वो बहुत बड़ी गेम है, बहुत बड़ा मैप वर्किंग है, पर लेकिन अगर हम प्रोटोटाइप देखें उस हिसाब से, तो डेवलपर एज ए डेवलपर जब हम उसे कोड रन करते हैं तो हमें आइडिया है कि हमने कहाँ पे क्या चीज़ रखी है, उसे डिबंकिंग करने के लिए हमें आसानी पड़ेगी. बट अगर हम AI के थ्रू करते हैं उसमें अब डिबंकिंग करेंगे तो हमें दिक्कत नहीं होनी चाहिए.
आपके फंडामेंटल स्ट्रॉन्ग होने चाहिए. आपको अगर सारी कंपोनेंट्स के पता है कि गेम में क्या क्या डलता है, तो हर एक कंपोनेंट आप एक प्रॉम्प्ट से बना सकते हैं और उसको एनहांस कर सकते हैं. लेकिन आज अगर आप ये सोच रहे हैं कि मैं घर बैठे बैठे एक प्रॉम्प्ट दे के मैं AAA टाइटल बना लूँ, तो वो तो शायद नहीं होने वाला है. वो तो आपको भी पता है. बट अगर आपके फंडामेंटल स्ट्रॉन्ग है तो ये आपका बेस्ट फ्रेंड हो सकता है. दैट्स माय वे ऑफ थिंकिंग.
Like it can speed up the process, but it can't skip the process for you. So you have to still go through the process of development and everything.
One more question. Yes, yes, it can. We are using it in our app. So we are in our app. What we're doing is, rather than having environments which are content which is created either by 360, there is content which is created by prompts, and these prompts could not just be 360 content. This is actually mesh which is being generated. So it's not real time. So it takes about 5 seconds, but 5 seconds is acceptable today. That if you were to go to a 3D designer today, they would take 2 to 3 days. It would be expensive, light baking, all of that. It takes a lot of time. But imagine if that can be taken down to 5 seconds or 10 seconds. It just enhances the creativity. The amount of content which can come out from the community of this game just goes up like crazy.
So there are other, one last thing that I want to add. There are other AI tools. This is the only AI tool that I showcased. But I will suggest you guys, if you are into development, then go and try it out, play with yourself and find out which is working for you. And there are other tools which is involving, so this tool does not let me to add sprites or any others, like game asset, 3D object, another thing. But there are tools available which will let you add 3D asset. They will let you add 3D. They will even let you create a 3D asset with just a single prompt. And after creation, you can bring it inside games and everything. So do explore. That's what my suggestion
And if any of you are curious, do stop by the YoloGram booth. We have an AI that takes your face and converts you into a full avatar, which is playable in a game, and we'll show it to you. We'll take your face, convert you into an avatar, and take you into another game on another device, and you can play with yourself inside the game. So that is something you can do right now with us, and multiple games, not just one. So thank you very much. You've been an amazing, engaged audience, and thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aditya, for such an engaging session. I think there will be a lot of questions. You can take them offline. We'll immediately start with the next session, which is on academia and industry. Thank you,